In this tutorial I'm going to look at the different tasks that you can do in the Inspector tab. So the Inspector tab is in the center here, and the Inspector can only be used when you have some settings applied to a video. So I've applied a H.264 800 kilobits per second setting to this particular job here. So if I pull up my Inspector, on the first button there you have the summary, and because I have the settings selected, it will give me a breakdown of all of the different parts of that setting, the video and the audio parts of the file, etc. Now if I click on the job itself rather than the settings, then I'll be able to see all of the elements or all of the attributes of my source file. So it tells me where it is, what kind of a file it is, how long it is, the size of the image and the pixel aspect ratio, and also some details on the audio. So I'm going to click on the settings here, and the next button over will allow me to change all of the video and the audio settings. It'll allow me to choose, once I'm within the actual job itself, if I want to change it to a different type of file or codec, and it will also allow me to set either the video on its own or the audio on its own, or both. So if both are enabled, then the video is going to be exported with video and audio. So if I quickly click on the video settings, you'll see it opens up the settings window, and it will allow me to change things like the frame rate, how often I want to insert an iframe into the video, which will make it better quality, and the data rate. So how many kilobits per second do I want to put into this video, which will have an effect in the end, and how big the file is and how fast it can be pulled down from the web. So I'm going to leave these alone and just go through some of the other settings. Now the next one is the frame controls. And the frame controls are for changing the preferences for how compressor does certain things like resizing an image. So resizing can be done in a number of ways. If you're making a small file larger, visually or physically larger, then you can do it in a number of ways. You can choose how you deinterlace the video, and you can also adjust things like anti-aliasing, which stops images from having very jagged, sharp edges. And you can also change the speed at which the video is going to play back by setting the duration there. So you can retime and resize or set the preferences for how compressor will do those jobs. Now these aren't really applicable for this level of compressor that we're working at, so you can click on that button there and it will automatically lock all of these settings to the default. So those are the frame controls. The next button over is the filters. So the filters can be used to do a number of different things. You can do all of these different jobs that are listed here in the scroll down menu, such as adjust brightness and contrast, deinterlace, and apply things like watermarks, text overlays, and a timecode generator. So what I'll do quickly here is I'll just first of all show how to put a text overlay on a piece of video. You just click on that button, change the color of the text as you want it to appear on the video, and then type in some text. So I'm just going to put in some simple text here, dance, and you'll see that it pops up there in the position that I've specified here. So if I wanted that instead to appear in the upper right hand side, I would just change it to upper right, and I'd leave it title safe. So it's just in a little bit from the top and the right hand side. Now the timecode generator is done pretty much in the same way, so I won't, actually I will, I'll just show you quickly how you would put some timecode on it. Again, I'm going to change this to white text so I can see it a little bit more clearly. Now this timecode generator is going to generate the timecode to reflect the timecode that's burned into this video file. So as you can see at the moment, it's at 20 hours, 31, 35 and 21 frames, because that's the portion of the tape that was originally digitized and then exported, and it held that particular timecode. If you wanted to use this, for instance, to send to a client and allow them to pick a certain frame out of the video and use that for the cover of the disc or something, for instance, then you might set the timecode to 0. And by doing that, you'll start with a nice clean timecode, and they can find a piece on the video, such as this piece here, which would look quite nice exported from your original edit and used as a JPEG on the front of the disk. So that's just one particular use for timecode generator. Now the watermark requires an image, so if you've created an image in Photoshop that has some transparency in it, such as a PNG file, then you can click on that, browse to the file itself, select it, and place it somewhere on the image. So I'll put it in the center, and you can see the watermark then is placed over the video. So you can change the size. This is quite a small image, so if I scale it up it's going to get a bit lumpy looking. If I knew I was working with a large video picture, then I would make a larger file, and then you can scale it up or scale it down, and you can make it more or less transparent. So these are some of the jobs that you can do in the filters